Out of all the characters in the Halloween franchise, Michael Myers, Laurie Strode, Jamie Lloyd, Dr. Loomis has always been my favourite, played brilliantly by the amazing Donald Pleasance. I just love the character of Dr. Loomis. His lifelong quest to stop pure evil is just epic. His desire to help and protect the people of Haddonfield from tragedy, something that he describes as his life's work. To me, he's more compelling to watch than Michael Myers. After Dr. Loomis had a stroke at the end of Halloween 5, they practically had to hold a pistol to his head to make him retire. And so, for the 6 year gap between Halloween's 5 and 6, he's been retired in a little cottage in the countryside. Out of all the scenes in the series, one of my favourite moments is just a very small scene in Halloween 6. It's an establishing shot of an old cottage, and then the camera pans across the room and we see Dr. Loomis typing on a typewriter. I've always been intrigued by his home and all the things that are in there, and I just want to take a moment to take a deeper look into the home of my favourite Halloween franchise character. The shot begins with a roaring log fire. This is to keep him warm during those cold October nights. We can then see what looks like a bird cage, or it might be an ornamental bird cage. And then the camera pans across to see some plants there in the corner, and then we can see a nice comfy leather couch with some cushions on there. You might sit there, relax, have a whiskey, maybe listen to the radio, watch some telly, and then behind him on that bookshelf, which is probably full of psychology books and maybe research into myths and mythology and the origins of evil, that sort of thing. We can also see a framed picture, and that could be a relative, a grandchild, something like that. And then just going back slightly, we can see like kind of old school lampshades and like maybe antiques. And then on a coffee table, it looks like there's like an antique kind of chess set, or it might just be more ornaments. And then we pan across to what looks like a giant eagle statue. Now, that could be an antique, it could be taxidermy, I can't really tell. Then we can see kind of like a bar area in the corner. He's got some bar stools there, a counter, and then behind it, it's got all liquor bottles. That looks like there's some whiskey, some gin, maybe some port, maybe some brandies, and some nice picture frames behind it, maybe of different places that he's been and things like that. Then we can see some more indoor plants there, and then it looks like a some sort of unit with more books and reading material on. Then the camera continues to pan across, and we see another ornament there, maybe another antique, another lampshade, and then it moves into sort of like an office space area where he's doing his research, his typing up, his work. We can see a load of papers and research there, more cabinets at the back, probably for filing and storage. And then we see Dr. Loomis typing on his typewriter. Next, there's just a very quick shot of Dr. Wynne knocking on the front door, and we can see that there may be a pathway down to the front door, and we can see that it's maybe quite a large property. So as Dr. Wynne enters the house, it's just a different angle. This is now the entranceway of the house. We can see some more indoor plants, some more furniture there, some more different and maybe antique lampshades, and then there's another unit in the top corner there with more books on it. This is just a different angle. We can see that fireplace there from the original establishing shot. And then as Dr. Wynne goes to the bar and picks up something for them both to drink, it pans back to the living room, and then behind Dr. Loomis, we can see a big sort of landscape picture above the fireplace. I can't really tell what it is, but again, it's a nice touch to that living room environment. So yeah, there was always just something about this scene that really intrigued me, and I always wanted to take a deeper look of the kind of things that were in there and kind of create in my own imagination like what kind of things he was maybe into in his spare time, what did he do in his retirement. We can kind of see that he enjoys a lot of indoor plants. Maybe that keeps him busy, and obviously being a psychologist, he obviously still does a lot of research and enjoys his reading, enjoys sitting down with a whiskey or a brandy. And yeah, it's a nice little quaint little cottage. Now, I've heard different things, so I'm not entirely sure where this cottage is meant to be. Because Dr. Wynne says, "Oh, there's not much as a sign for 5 miles on that road," and then he goes, "Oh, that's the beauty of the countryside." And then in making of documentaries, I've heard that it's like, oh, he's way out in the depths of the countryside, he's in retirement. And then I've also heard that he lives on the outskirts of Haddonfield to like just kind of keep his foot in there, like to try and just stay on the outskirts, just to keep an eye on things, so to speak, in case anything stares up again. So I'm not entirely sure of its location. Not that that really matters in the grand scheme of things. He just wants to enjoy his retirement as much as he can, anyway, with all the horrible memories that he's had over the years of tracking down Michael. And I've got to say, I hope he did have a nice 6 year retirement between Halloween 5 and 6. Um, I hope he had time to relax, maybe see some grandchildren, things like that. And yeah, so this was just a look at Dr. Loomis's house from Halloween 6. It's very difficult to actually do this because it's such a fast shot right across his house. I really had to slow the footage down and go back and study it. So yeah, this was purely just for fun, guys, for my own sort of entertainment. And I hope you enjoyed it. So thanks very much for watching, and I will see you soon in the next video.